Hello, dear students. Welcome back. We are reading chapter 5 from the book Hornbill, The Ailing Planet, The Green Movement's Role. Let's have a quick recap of the session that we have done previously. In the chapter, the writer raises an issue towards the degrading health of the earth. As human beings have been exploiting natural resources from decades, presently the condition has made the environment critical. So, in the year 1972, the Green Movement helped environmentalists to raise awareness about the harmful condition of the earth, and since then, there has been no looking back as the movement has been successfully educating people about the conservation of the environment. So, this movement has become successful in bringing a shift in the mindset of the people from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view. Earth is like a planet whose health is declining, and it is our duty to improve it. The writer Nani Palkiwala, he talks about Earth as a living being, that how this green movement has successfully brought the shift in the mindset of the people, that they have started considering regarding the earth as a living organism, and thus understanding our roles as stewards, as caretakers. Thus, he urges the readers that we should understand our ethical obligation so that we can start taking care of the planet, and thus we become responsible trustees of the legacy to the future generation. Thus, he introduces about the concept of sustainable development. He makes people aware about this concept, that how this concept means that without compromising the needs of the future generation, meeting the needs of present generation. Thus, this sustainable development concept needs to be popularized, and people they need to adopt this sustainable development. The author also talks about a zoo in Lusaka, Zambia, that how there is a cage in which a sign reads the world's most dangerous animal, and inside there is a mirror. It gives a message that human beings are the most dangerous animals, because there is no animal inside the cage. When you stand in front of the mirror, you see your reflection, and thus the sign reads the world's most dangerous animals, indicating that humans have become the world's most dangerous animals. The author also talks about the living species on this earth, that how the humans are not the sole owner of this earth. We share this earth with other living species, and scientists they have cataloged about 1.4 million living species, but still 3 to 100 millions still live an ignominious life, and they are living such disgraceful life because they are still not catalogued yet. Scientists have failed to recognize those species, and thus because of human activities, how these living species are forced to live this kind of disgraceful life, because their extinction is also at risk. Thus, there is a question put forward by the Branded Commission, where there was an environmentalist, an Indian environmentalist whose name was Mr. L.K. Jha. And the first branded report, it raised a question. Are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscape, and ailing environment? That what we humans are doing because of our activities, how we are destroying our own Mother Earth. We are turning the fertile land into an infertile one. The forest areas are being converted into desert lands. The environment is suffering. So we need to think now. It is the need of the hour that we should start acting upon these issues. We should work for the betterment of our life and also of the existence of Mother Earth. Then another environmentalist, Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospects, he talks about the four principal biological systems that form the foundation of the global economic system. He divides it into four different forms, that is, fisheries, grassland, forests, and croplands. These four systems also provide food and raw material as well for industries, except for minerals and other synthetics. With these systems becoming unsustainable, fisheries are collapsing, the forests are disappearing at a fast rate, grasslands are converting into barren lands, and croplands are becoming worse day by day. So, all this is because a lot of pressure is now put on these four biological systems. The author says that how in poor countries forests are being cut down for fuel wood, which is used for cooking purposes. There are some areas where the cost of fuel wood is more than the cost of food, and it is leading to deforestation at an alarming rate. And one of the reasons for exploitation of environment is also the increasing population. So thus the author shows his concern towards the present situation, and he talks about that how not only the local forest but the tropical forest is also at risk. In words of Dr. Myers, that how the tropical forests are the powerhouse of evolution, powerhouse of development, and the rate at which the forests are being cut, forests are being decimated, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. So we have read up to this part. Now today we will start from here, second paragraph of the page. It has been well said that forests precede mankind, deserts follow. Very important statement, a remark made by the author. The author, he raises the concern that how forests precede mankind. That means when this earth was formed, before the arrival of mankind, the earth was full of forest. It was full of greenery. But after mankind, now the see the situation, how these forests are getting you can say decimated, how these are disappearing from this earth, that the activities of human beings are actually making the land, converting the land into deserts. So forests precede mankind, deserts follow. So it is high time that we understand our responsibilities. We need to think what we are doing, because we are destroying the four principal biological system: fisheries, forests, grasslands, and cropland. So it is time that when we understand our responsibilities and we start acting, we start with the actions to save the planet Earth, because these systems have reached an unsustainable point where their productivity has impaired, and many species are under destruction in the tropical forest also. So it has been well said that forests precede mankind, deserts follow. Forest and deserts came first in order in comparison to humans. And the author says that the world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year, and the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. The ancient inheritance of tropical forest. Here, patrimony means the inheritance, and it is constantly getting destroyed. It is wearing away at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. The tropical forests, which are full of natural vegetation, different varieties of trees exist in these tropical forests. And because of the destruction of these forests, we are losing the forest at a rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. This statistical analysis was made in the year 1994, and see the situation, it has become worse day by day. With the passing year, the situation is now more critical. And moreover, the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizers. The dung, the animal waste, is not used as natural fertilizers. Those animal wastes are used for burning purposes, and thus it deprives the soil of the natural fertilizer. So, the World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. So, to meet the demand for the fuel wood, there is a need to increase the rate of forest plantation by five-fold by the year 2000. And if we talk of present situation, I think the need is 10 times, the rate should be 10 times the way the forests are getting decimated, disappearing from the earth. And James Speth, the president of World Resources Institute, said the other day, we were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. James Speth, who was at that time the president of World Resources Institute, he made a remark that how we are losing the forest closer to an acre and a half to a second, and thus it is not just acre a second, it is 1.5 acre a second. So the situation is quite alarming. It is the need of the hour that people should understand what they should do at the present moment. They should become and good environmentalists. They should think of their roles, that how they can contribute towards saving the planet Earth. Even Article 48A of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavor to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. So, see, even the article 48A of the Constitution of India, it provides, the provision is there that the state should try to protect and improve the environment and also protect the forest and the wildlife of the country. So they should make every possible effort. But the painful fact is that laws are not followed in India. The author makes this remark, but what causes endless anguish is the fact that laws are never respected nor enforced in India. It's really a sad picture to see. Anguish means suffering, the pain. So, the painful fact is that in India, laws are not implemented properly and are also not followed properly. The author gives an instance here. He says, for instance, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability, and bonded labor shall be abolished, but they flourish shamelessly even after 40 years of the operation of Constitution. So he gives an example that how the system of casteism, untouchability, bonded labor, it should not be there in the country. It should be completely abolished, but still they are followed shamelessly. We see people practicing all these things, and thus it is really a painful fact to understand that how the laws are never respected in our country. A recent report of a Parliament's Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion of India's forests over the last 4 decades. A tragic depletion, a destructive reduction in the forest land of our country. And this data, it shows that how At a great speed, we have lost a large cover of forest from our country over the last 4 decades. India is losing forests at a harmful rate. And it is said that India, according to reliable data, is losing its forests at the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. So, from a reliable source, the analysis which was presented, the statistical data, it shows that how the forests are, we are losing forest at a harmful rate of 3.7 million acres a year, as per the report of Parliament's Estimate Committee. The large area of forest land is now treeless, and the actual loss is estimated to be 8 times the rate given by the government statistic. So the author says the large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The forest exists in only the papers. If you go and check the reality, you will find that the large area of forest land is now treeless. And thus, the actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by government statistics. So the paper, it fails to present the actual picture of the country. The actual loss is estimated to be 8 times the rate given by the government statistic. And this data was presented in the year 1994. You can just imagine what would be the current scenario. So it is high time that the people, they start acting upon the responsibilities that they have. We should go for one mahotsavs. We should plant trees instead of celebrating different festivals by burning crackers and the other things. We should go for planting trees, gifting trees to each other, gifting saplings to each other, so that we can make our environment green again. And thus we can reduce the level of pollution, we can reduce the we can prevent the environment from further degradation. So it is time now that we should start respecting our constitution as well, because the constitution, the law also provides that a state shall endeavor to protect and improve the environment. So we should start respecting the laws made by the Constitution, and thus be a responsible citizen of the country and become a good individual who is there to share his responsibility, to play the role, so that he can be an activist who is there to protect the environment, to protect the Mother Earth. So, this is all about today's lesson, dear students. We will continue the chapter in the next session. Read up to the part we have covered, and we will be continuing the chapter in the next period. Thank you so much.